he goes on in verse 23, and he tells us again, I think this is like the third time in this chapter, he says, but avoid foolish and ignorant disputes, knowing that they generate strife. I think he said it 3 times in 3 different ways. Avoid the arguments. Avoid the craziness of the world. Look, you ever been in a fight? No, nobody? Okay. You ever been in a fight, like, let's say with your spouse, okay? There you go. I'll push that button. You ever been in a fight with your spouse? And you guys are just yelling at each other. And one person's saying one thing, one person's saying the other thing, but it's all hyped up, yelling, and you two are going back and forth, and nothing gets done in all of that. You could be yelling at each other for an hour, but it doesn't seem like anything good comes out of it. Why is that? You know, I learned something new today. We were setting up these speakers, and apparently the gain knob got turned up on the board. And so when I turned my mic on, it made this horrible screeching noise. And I was like, me and Roger spent like 20 minutes trying to figure it out. But I realized that that's what it's like when you're just yelling at someone, when you're arguing with someone, whether it's your spouse or whether it's sharing the Lord with someone, that's what it's like. Because it's not a conversation. It's just like, bleh, you know? And they're doing the same thing back to you. Bleh, bleh. And nothing is getting done. You know, like this happens on Facebook, right? Like you'll post something like saying, oh, I'm a Christian, look at this verse or something like that. And someone will write back and be like, I don't like Christians. And then all of a sudden you get in a back and forth with some random person you probably never even met. And you're like back and forth and back and forth. And pretty soon you're using like all caps, right? Like you're yelling at them. All caps. That's right. Showed them. Look, does anything good come out of it? No. Are you friends after? No. I'm getting there. You just had an argument with them. And are you drawing them in? Or are you pushing them away? Are you drawing them in? Or are you pushing them away? Look, when we do this with our family members, you're not drawing them closer to the Lord. You're pushing them away from the Lord. When you're doing this with your spouse, you're not drawing them closer to the Lord. You're pushing them away from the Lord. This is not the type of conduct that is conducive to people knowing who Jesus is. Let me ask you a question. Some of you in here are Christians. That was a joke, but okay, whatever. When Jesus drew you to him, did he do it by yelling at you? Did he do it by arguing with you? No. He did it as a perfect gentleman, right? I know he did with me. Like when I was in high school, I was telling you this. And he was like sending out those little seeds. And I was like, nah, not right now. Not right now. Not right now. He didn't grab me by the hair and start yelling in my face. He just said, hey, if you think you want that, go ahead. You'll be back. You've seen that the Lord is good. You can't go anywhere else. You just run around in circles now. He allowed me. He showed me love. He didn't force himself upon me. He said, no, let me draw you in. This is what Paul says about this at the very start of 1 Corinthians 13. He says, though I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. You know, like that thing I was telling you about? You know, like that one guy in the marching band? And it looks like he's doing nothing, right? He's just standing there like his two little things. He's just walking around the whole field. And then every once in a while, he just goes, psh! It's like that, but all by itself in a little tiny room. Psh! Like, are you getting anything done? No, you may have accentuated your point, but you're not really getting any work done, you know? And he goes on to say, and though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and knowledge and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains, but I have not love, I'm what? Nothing. So if you don't love a person, you could have all the gifts of God. That's what he's saying. You could speak in tongues. You could prophesy. You could have faith that could tell a mountain, hey, you go, and it'll go. But if you don't love people, what's the difference? You're just that guy on the field. That's it. Just fades away into the distance, right? We have to be better than that. We're greater than that. You're above all that. Don't stoop down to the level of the world.